stop me in my tracks at the moment. Like, it literally took my breath away. It made me feel sick, and it sucks. It always does. I think it takes getting to a place where you're really happy with your life and your choices to be able to want that. Like, you still want to stay friends with your frenemies, you know what I mean? I think when you don't feel that for so long and you get to a place where you do, it's crazy. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've shared a lot of my 45-pound weight loss journey, but this is one part I haven't talked that much about because, to be honest, like, it's really hard. I try to feel very strong and brave and like I've moved on, but when I kind of take myself back to that place, it's really painful. It's kind of one of the darker, sadder moments of my life. But I wanted to start this diary series a while ago so we could share some of this more vulnerable, raw stuff. And I really hope that by me sharing my experience, it'll help even just one of you that is going through something similar. Because I know firsthand how isolating and how lonely it can be when you're starting a health and fitness journey. Really, when you're making any change in your life. But for some reason, when you are able to take control of your health and fitness, it just affects other people in weird ways. And I lost a lot of friends during that season of my life. I had yo-yo dieted for years. I did so many crazy things. And when I got to this point, when I really was starting to make real change, I knew it was going to be hard physically. Like, I knew it was going to take discipline. I knew that like I was going to be pushing myself in ways I never had before. But I had no idea the emotional toll and how hard it would be, like, on my heart and on relationships. That was completely unexpected. And I really wish that I had someone at the time to like be able to tell me this, to warn me in a sense and share their experiences, because maybe it just would have made it a little bit easier. And so I'm not saying by me sharing mine, it's going to take away the pain or you can avoid it altogether, but hopefully it'll at least encourage you so that if you are right now in a situation where you're feeling bullied, if you're feeling ostracized or isolated from friends or family or anyone else in your life as you're making changes, hopefully this will help just give you that strength to be able to press on and know that what you are doing for you is the best thing you can do. So just to rewind a little bit, when I started this journey, it was really the first time I'd ever decided to like do something quietly. In the past, I could get friends on board to do like 2 weeks no carbs. They're like, we're gonna do this like turbo crazy workout, fine, something that was extreme. But I knew that I wanted this to be different, and I knew that I wasn't doing anything extreme this time. So I tried to just kind of, just start making changes, subtle changes in my life. I had just graduated college. I was living with a bunch of roommates. I had this like group of girls that I thought were like my besties. We did everything together, which mostly included like shopping, partying. But I just wanted to make these changes, and I assumed, maybe like stupidly, that my friends would support that and get on board. And I specifically remember a weekend where it was kind of one of the first weekends that I felt like brave enough to try to like push outside the norm a little bit. And I had suggested to my roommates that instead of doing Sunday fun day, like bar hopping, we went for a beach walk because we lived right by the beach. And I'm like, let's get breakfast and we'll like go do like a big fun like walk together. It's like a beautiful day. And I won't say what she said, but like, when people say stuff and it just like stings and it sticks with you forever. But essentially she said, "Are you effing kidding?" And like rolled her eyes and like, haha, right? And I wasn't. And I just like shrunk into myself. But I think that was the moment that I realized that not everyone's in your corner, and not everyone's gonna be on board with the changes that you're making. I was genuinely just shocked by the way that people started acting toward me, even though in my mind, I was not doing anything to make them uncomfortable. I wasn't trying to make them eat healthier. I wasn't trying to make them change what they were doing. I wasn't constantly talking about all the things I was doing, which is what I used to do. There's some reason why the extreme quick stuff was fine, but like me actually making real changes really was not. And the amount of little side comments, nitpicking, it went from before it'd be like, "Oh, you look fine," which honestly is not encouraging either. Like when you're trying to make change and someone's just saying, "Oh, you look fine," they're just trying to get you to like go along with whatever they're wanting to do at the moment. It wasn't even that anymore. Now it had turned to like true negativity and tearing down little things I was making, or commenting like, "Why are you eating that salad?" Or, "Well, why are you doing that?" Or, "Why aren't you coming out with us?" Then it turned into like, not getting invited to things, and like subtly I just saw the deterioration happening. The one thing I know about myself, and that I've definitely realized more and more over the years, is like I'm just way too trusting, and I let people in too quickly. I want to see the good in everyone. I just want us all to be friends. I want you to like me. I like you. Like, this is great. We're all friends. Blah, blah, blah. That's just my personality. And I just will be like, whew, sure. Like, let me take you under my wing and we can all be besties. And that's kind of the world and the mindset that I was living in at that time. And as I started to lose weight, as I started to make these changes, I just assumed all of my friends were going to be on board. And I was so wrong. Their behavior became so negative and so toxic toward me. And I had no idea. I'm looking at it like, well, like, what did I do? Like, I'm not doing anything. But I realized like it was just a friendship of convenience. I thought these were my best friends. I thought they were like my girls. But as I started making these choices, as I suggested things like going for a beach walk instead of doing Sunday fun day, and they were like annoyed by that and mad at that, I just realized like, oh, like there's not something deeper here. Like I thought we were really good friends, but if you're really good friends, if you have a depth to your friendship and your relationship, then you just want to spend time with that person. So you could do all sorts of things or do nothing, and it's fine because you just love that person, you want to be with them. But I realized that no, as my behaviors or the things I wanted to do changed and didn't align with what they were doing, there was no friendship. There was no foundation, there was no core, there was no depth. It was genuinely just, if it was convenient, great. And the second it wasn't, there was nothing there. But like as hard as it was going through all that, really did give me so much clarity as to who my real friends were versus who were just friends of convenience. And that really has shaped the way that I approach my entire life and have since that moment, because that light switch went off and that discernment kind of turned on. It was real hard. It was hard to realize like these people didn't care about me that much. They didn't like me that much. But when you can start to notice a difference, everything has changed. I may have shared this story before, but I just feel like it's like in the sadness of friendships like falling apart, I think that one thing hopefully can encourage you is this one friend. I don't want to pick on her in particular, but she was kind of the loudest out of the bunch about it. Other people kind of just like disappeared. But we got in this giant fight, and I remember sitting on the phone in Ryan's closet, because it was like when Ryan and I had first met, in Ryan's closet, and she was so mad because just about everything. She was so mad about everything, tearing me apart on the phone. And the last thing she said was, you've just effing, she used the F a lot, you've just effing changed. And that stopped me in my tracks at the moment. Like it literally took my breath away. It made me feel sick for like a second. And then as I really thought about it, it made me so happy because everything I saw in who she and these other people at that time, everything I saw in them, I didn't want any of that. I didn't want to be like that. And I'd worked really hard not to be like that. Oh. But I'd been so broken up about the friendship. Like I was so sad about it. I was so sad about all these friendships that I just felt like were falling apart. And I was so sad because I was like trying to make all these positive changes and I didn't understand. Like those things did not make sense to me. I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. Why is this happening? And when she said that, it made it so clear and it made me so happy. It was sad in the moment for a moment, but then it truly like completely changed and altered my perspective. And I was so proud of myself. And that was the first time that I feel like I really understood those growing pains. And those growing pains and like the beauty that can come on the other side of it. I know, and I can tell you with 100% confidence, the reason I was able to lose 45 pounds and keep it off all these years, just lose weight and like change my whole lifestyle, was because my focus was on something so much deeper than just my weight. I've said this a million times in almost every video I make for you guys, but like it was so much deeper. It was about so much more, and I changed from the inside out. Yes, my diet changed. Yes, my workout routine changed, but the confidence and the discipline that I built through that journey translated into literally everything I did. I feel like the friend stuff is something that I've struggled with since I was little. I always kind of felt like the third wheel friend. Like I was always like, I always had like friends. I had like one really good bestie that I'm still friends with now, like since like third grade. I always had like friends, but I most of the time felt like I was like the fringe friend. And I had my own insecurities about that, whether it was because I felt like I was the chubbier one, or I was like kind of weird, or my freckles, or I don't know. Like I just always felt that. I don't know what it was. And so when these relationships started falling apart, it just, I think, hit me in an even deeper way. But I think what was so cool was like through this, when I finally started to recognize that those relationships breaking actually was a good thing, because it showed how much I was changing. And her saying you changed was a good thing because it was reinforcing all the stuff I had been working toward. That to me was such a pivotal moment in my whole journey. And what really allowed me to realize that the work I was doing every day was not only changing my body, it was changing the way I approached my work, like my actual job, my work, the way I approached all relationships and friendships, because now I had this clarity. I could decipher different types of people before I let them in too quickly. I also had this discipline that I was creating by showing up to work out every day, by eating healthy, making those choices, that translated into everything. Like I really started putting more care and intention into everything I did, and more intentionality. And that was so unexpected. That growth was not something that I ever saw coming. And the confidence that I started gaining, even though friendships were falling apart, even though I had this whole past of feeling so insecure, I was gaining confidence because I was doing the things I said I was going to do. And I think that for a lot of my life, I felt like that friend and stuff because I was just kind of like, yay, like showing up, and like I was never consistent with things. Even when it comes to sports and stuff, I was hopping around like, try this, try that, da da da. This was the first thing in my life that I did consistently and diligently and like stuck with. And after years of feeling like I failed at doing that, there was a confidence building inside of me that then bled out. That's a weird way to say it, but like poured out into everything. I showed up more confidently in every relationship, in every situation. I started really liking myself for the first time. And it wasn't just because I lost weight. I just started liking who I was as a person because all these other areas were changing too. But what I found was as you start liking yourself and you start becoming confident, not arrogant, not cocky, not conceited, just confident. Confidence is just being comfortable with who you are. I was so comfortable and I was so proud of myself. And it's so weird to say, like, it's still like just, I think when you don't feel that for so long and you get to a place where you do, it's crazy and it feels weird to say, but I'm so proud of myself to be able to even say that out loud, because it's hard to get there. But when you do, it can make other people really, really uncomfortable. So not only did like the changes, just like my lifestyle changes that I was wanting to do things differently, that made people uncomfortable and that made a lot of friends uncomfortable. But then now my role has changed, and I talked more about this in the first video I did, but like my role and like our friendship was now very different, and it made them very uncomfortable because instead of like being like the third wheel kind of like insecure friend, I was confident and I felt good about myself and I showed up happy and joyful and, you know, all these things that were not necessarily the Katie that they had in their little box and how they pictured me. And that growth made them feel really weird, clearly, because they acted really weird. I remember the first time that I did not get invited to a friend's birthday party, and I could not understand it. Like, we weren't that close anymore, but like we were still in the same circle, we were still hanging out. She invited my best friend that she had met through me, but I didn't get invited. And I was pissed, obviously, at first. I was so upset. I like was so confused. I didn't understand because I still was in a place where like I still wanted, you still want to be wanted, right? No matter what, no matter how like evolved you are, or think you are, like you still want to be wanted and included and invited, even if you don't actually want to go or be a part of it. That's something I'm still working on. Just not even caring, right? And that stung. That did really sting. But I just realized that some people can't handle your growth. Some people can't handle your light. Like, and that's okay. And like realizing that and like truly believing it's okay is the most important thing you can do. Because if you are making changes like I was, where I was like, I am happy, I feel good about myself, I feel confident, like I'm proud of myself, I'm doing things that I said I was gonna do and like feel good physically and mentally and emotionally. Why do I care about this? Like I should be like honored that I was not included in that group. Honestly, like you should take it as a compliment. I should have taken it as a compliment at the time. It took me a while to get there, but now looking back 100%, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't fit into that group anymore and I don't want to, so that's a good thing. And truly, when I could finally get to the spot where I was like, it is not worth continuing to try, because I always wanted to stay like light touch, like you still want to stay friends with your frenemies, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, I still want to be liked, I still want to be included, whatever. When I finally realized that was not worth my time anymore, my life changed exponentially for the better, because I was able to then go and find friendships and people who actually lifted me up, that we could complement each other in the sense of like, we wanted the same things. We were on the same level. Our vision for like life is here, and we can like add to each other's life instead of pulling each other down. And those are the type of people you want in your life. A lot of people only feel comfortable if they feel like they're kind of on the top and everyone else is like, in their opinion, like not as great at them as them, right? I want to be around people who I think are better than me and greater than me, that I can look up to and be like, yeah, like bring me up with you. And not everyone get that. I think it takes getting to a place where you're really happy with your life and your choices to be able to want that. But to me, it was like such a beautiful thing to finally get to that point where I could let go, because everything else got better when I did. And I know, because it's something I still deal with today, and I have to check myself all the time, because as you continue to grow and evolve, whether it is in your weight loss journey or just in life, like friendships are going to get weird. They're going to be impacted. It is just something that is part of life, and it sucks. It always does. But I think the coolest thing is really realizing that there are only so many spots on your roster, right? Like just think of yourself as like a team. There are only so many spots that can actually like get up and play. Everyone else has got to sit on the bench or like up in the like nosebleed section. And you want those people around you to be like your all-star team. So if you feel like anyone is pulling you down, if you feel like unsupported, if you feel like things are weird, it's time to switch out. You gotta let it go. And it can be painful, it can stink, whether those friendships just kind of like float away, or you actually have to have like conversations about them. It just goes from person to person, but you gotta like cut the ties. And I think that I'm preaching to the choir. Like I know like this is something I still have to work through all the time. And it became so clear during my weight loss journey how crazy friendships can be, and how ugly and weird and painful they can be, but also how beautiful it can be when you finally find that confidence and clarity to really align yourself with people who are on the same page as you. That's why I started Love Sweat Fitness. I was by myself, you guys. And in my journey, I was by myself. I had no one else who supported me, no one else who got me. I had friends, obviously, still that stuck around through that time. A couple of real close friends, and that's it. But they weren't on the same page as me as I was going through that. They didn't understand what I was going through, and I needed a community. And that's why I'm so grateful for you and Team LSF, because we have each other going through this in all seasons of life, whether you're just starting your weight loss journey, whether you've been maintaining it for a long time, or you're just going through something else at this time. I hope this helped. I just feel like when I share these videos, it's just kind of like my opportunity to be able to share my heart a little bit more with you guys, and hopefully it helps and made sense to you. If you're going through a friend breakup or have in the past, drop one of the little broken heart emojis down below so we can come and encourage you, and we can all like talk to each other about it, because I think it's one of those things like we have to speak out loud to know we're not feeling crazy. At least that's how I am. When those things went on, and when they still do today, like I have to talk about it, because I need to like work through all those emotions. So just know I'm here for you to go through that. And I love you so much. I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, sweat the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, because I want to do more like this and kind of dig a little bit deeper. So if you have questions or your stories, drop them in the comments so we can all check in with each other. And again, just be here as a support and encouragement as you're going through this, so you can step out boldly and know that you are on the right path, making the right decisions for yourself to feel good. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.
Everything will probably